that because that was the big timeline switch for Kwangdong, formerly Afrika. T1 has blue side here.
Yeah, I think Kwangdong selected red, right?
I believe so, yeah.
Which is not the meta. Generally not the meta for many a year. So it seems like maybe CB Max has got something up his sleeve.
It does feel really strong if the AD carry and support roles are the final ones to be locked in, which has been quite common, where you can know what supports are banned. You have the opportunity to pick with the prio pick, whether that's the AD carry like a Zeri or an Ezreal, or you get to pick the prio support. Then you get counter pick on the support on red side as well, which has been quite common. So we're not seeing as many, because all the top and mid picks are so high tier and you have to lock them early. It has really been the AD carry role that's been and support that's been the biggest benefactor of red side. As we do see Skarner and Cassante, those rocks, because they know they're not going to play through top side. Dudu's going to be playing weak side up there. They don't want to give him the opportunity to sit on a big tanky boy while Cuz, camps out bottom side.
Jax going to be taken away. Definitely a champ that Dudu enjoys, but Zeus loves his TF, so I think it's a bit of both, but maybe even more so that Zeus is just threatening the TF, perhaps even first pick or first rotation here. Definitely one of his best champs.
Ashe, I think a fantastic ban against both Guma and Keria, both very good at this pick. See what that first pick is going to be. The Tristana and the Talia both open with a lot of strong jungle synergy for the Talia. It'd be tough to give that one over to Bulldog, because that's some pretty good games of it. His Tristana and his Corki, though, which we will probably see the handshake of, have been very, very strong. As T1 won't be the ones to make that choice of mid lane. They'll give the ball over to Kwangdong Freaks and say, we're going to react to what you lock in here. The Yone pick, they've seen rising up a lot on this patch. Feels a lot stronger when you have the Sejuani first pick here, so that may be the angle for Faker.
Yeah, definitely could be. Also, Faker, he did have that whoopsie at level 1 up against Showmaker, but he has shown that he is not scared of playing the Corki versus Tristana matchup. He's okay to take that handshake, and we know that Faker loves Corki, so they take the Sejuani instead. Oner did look fantastic on that in that series as well.
And since we had the first 2 games of Cuz Maokai, it has been banned against him every single game until now. And unlocked to play it here with the Tristana. He will lock it in instantly. Happy to take that one. Faker will handshake the Corki into this Tristana. Question is now, do we grab a Zeus pick? That's not the one I expected blind, but it's the one we're going to get. Pretty good into the Maokai. As looking for a potential range champion here for this matchup for Dudu. And Jace Maokai, an old favorite.
Is he really going to pull the Vayne out against Zeus? I don't think that's a good idea.
I think he's taunting him with it a little bit, but I think he definitely would rather play the Jace here.
It's just so weird to see Gnar this early. We rarely are seeing Gnar. If we are seeing it, we're seeing answered with Kennen and stuff like that, but we know that Zeus is so fantastic at this pick that I guess they just feel it's very reliable. It can have synergy with Sejuani if he goes Mega, and he's just going to play it.
Yeah, I think for a lot of people, Zeus is, when you think about Zeus, you think about the lethality Aatrox, you think about the Kennen, this namesake, you think about Twisted Fate and Vayne, those top pushing champions, but he came from Gnar, okay? This was his original iconic pick here in the LCK's debut pick, so if there's anyone who's going to blind it, it's him. And will be the Aatrox to answer here for Dudu in the top side, a pick that's been cropping up quite a bit recently. But yeah, it feels strange to prio this pick, and T1 didn't want to react a lot in this draft and not dictate the pace, as Lucian and Kalista both removed here. The Nautilus is still available, the Kai'Sa is gone. Nautilus ban here would protect a potential Guma Zeri pick. He usually strays away from that, but it would allow Kwangdong Freaks to just steal it away as well. Power red side here in this bottom AD carry support situation. This is exactly what I'm talking about. Feels so strong in this position in draft.
Alistair. And that's what Andal has been picking as on R5. I can't even get these words out because I'm so excited, because this is what has happened many times with Andal in R5. He just picks the Alistair. You want to play Nautilus? Alistair. You want to play Rel? Alistair. And he's great at it. He makes plays happen. And now, they're going to pick up the Zeri and say, okay, play Nautilus. We don't care. I think you have to pick the Nautilus here, but could go Leona as well. Ezreal Leona the choice here for Keria.
Yeah, and this is gonna get really interesting. Now, there's a lot of different picks you can play here, but the Rel seems the safest with that Alistair ban. And, I mean, they could have even gone Enchanter here to try to speed the Zeri up, give her a little bit more safety in lane, so you're not constantly bashing heads. The Braum also, I think, a pretty decent pick in this scenario. Nautilus so strong into Ezreal. Like, there's so many good options here, but the lane is going to be really interesting. Like, we have not really gone into a meta for a long time where it's both AD carries are actually relatively weak in the lane, but much stronger later on. Obviously, there's some big spikes, like Zeri can all in at level 6 and level 2. There's some stuff you can do in certain matchups, but usually it's, okay, there's a Zeri on one side, there's a lane that's trying to punish that Zeri early. We saw Lucian, Nami, Zeri, Lulu for the longest time. That's the quintessential theme. But now we have a scaling AD carry with a strong mid-game Corki, Gnar for late-game engage, so you have a lot of AD threats here for T1 against a team that has really strong engage, really strong split pushing with the Tristana, and this is a pretty cool draft. And I think this is one of those moments where you look at the draft, you look at the game, and you go, we've moved into a different era. We've moved into a different meta. The bottom lane is completely different than how it was being played just 2 months ago, and I'm here for it.
That makes me very happy, Wolf. You know, I've said many a time that you can play pretty much anything in the bottom lane, and I'm sure that makes Guma happy as well, that they can ban Kai'Sa, they can ban Alistair, and he just gets to play Ezreal. He doesn't have to worry about threats. He says, okay, sure, play Zeri. I don't care. I'm playing Ezreal. I'm going to carry. We'll see if he does it here in this game. As Keria also on that Leona, excited to see that. But Leaper does get a hyper carry in his hands, and we'll be excited to see if he can carry on his side for the Quantum Freaks. Here comes game number 1.
소환사의 협곡에 오신 것을 환영합니다.
Here we go, game number 1. You mentioned the Quantum fans are just very energetic. It feels like one of the only fan bases that really challenges T1 in terms of volume.
Yeah, I mean, it's crazy. I'd argue that, at least in my experience so far this season, even more than the Gen G fans. And it's just this, I mean, every day the LCK, you know, sells out. It's full every time. So it's not like there's just less fans of one particular team. Even on a T1 day, you know, like there's a, the Kwangdong side is extremely loud, as cuz can be seen here. One thing I wanted to mention just really briefly, we talked about the AD carry meta evolutions and changes. We talked about the key player matchup being Guma versus Leaper, and both players are given late game hyper carries here essentially, especially with how Ezreal is being played in this meta right now. You can do a lot with him. If you can hit those Mystic shots, you have the power to carry late game fights, front to back. And I feel like this is the cleanest, fairest test that Leaper will get against Guma. They didn't give him Ezreal into a Guma Kalista lane. He's not going to be playing into Lucian Nami. It's just straight up old-fashioned late game AD carry versus AD carry action here if you look at the isolated matchup between the two. And I'm getting kind of hyped, to be honest about it.
Yeah, no, it's a very exciting time because we know what T1 is capable of, but it does feel like Quantum Freaks have something big brewing. And like I said at the very beginning, this could be where the upset is brewing. We have seen Faker, for some reason, struggle in this matchup at level 1. Tristana can do some nasty things early on, but he also did die at level 1 against DK, which was unfortunate. And we do see that Bulldog does hit level 2 first and does get some extra damage in. And Guma and Keria are going to hit level 2 first. Down here in the bottom side, Leaper and Ando will respect.
Yeah, really a lot of respect coming out. Guma weaving in some Mystic shots onto Leaper, though, and has the health advantage right now. As that was a close call there. Might not have wanted to take that one. Nearly on the edge of that turret range. As this is going to be a push advantage for Guma right now. And at level 1, there's not much Leaper can do about it. Top side here, you got range advantage as the Gnar gets the Mega. Will be very annoying to deal with.
How has Zeus already played 48 games of Gnar? That's just an insane number. I mean, feels like only yesterday he was debuting. Obviously, it has been a little bit now, but man, that's a lot of games of that one champ.
It is crazy, and he's played so many of them, you know, when Nara was strong, but also oftentimes just as a counter pick to Cassante and stuff like that. And it wasn't a crutch for him. It was just a strong point, as Oner is here, and Cuz is a little bit behind on this, so this is classic T1 blue side. Get bot side prio and take away the blue buff.
Whoa, Cuz gonna win on that trade, and now Bulldog's coming over, and you see the team on the bottom side trying to 2v2. Oner is gonna flash and Arctic Assault away. Arctic retreat there over the wall, but a very tense trade between the bottom lane, Bulldog coming over, and now Cuz just gonna come on over here and try to take the top scuttle and maybe stop the back of Faker.
Yeah,
right? I mean, you should. Yeah, okay, well.
He's going to stop it without wasting any mana.
Yeah, or much time. He nearly took a straight line directly to it.
Now, Zeri can get back to lane pretty quickly with her wall ride, but still going to lose out. It looks like maybe a minion or two here on the bottom lane. As Cuz will grab this scuttle. Faker pretty far up here, but I don't think will be punished by a flash twisted advance, right?
I mean, he might, but Valkyrie is pretty strong. I said he might, you know, not 100%.
You fish for him, you know, you go for it. You miss 100% of the twisted advance threatens that you don't walk towards.
Yes, thank you, Wayne Gretzky. Dudu is in kind of a rough spot. You mentioned the range versus melee. This does make him a prime dive target, and you see that ward. Oner might just be on the very edge of that one, but a lot of pings are coming down, and Cuz is trying to get up here to try to help him, but will he be on time is the real question, as trying to turn here on Oner. Oner just going to respect, as Cuz will show here on the vision, and they will not commit to the dive.
Yeah, I think somewhat ill-fated there. Free 6 for Zeus as Faker's going in.
He is going in, but Bulldog is going to get that jump in, and a fully stacked E for that explosion, and Faker is not going to win that trade and will be pushed away. Bulldog, once again, is going to punish Faker in this matchup.
Yeah, it's you know, Bulldog very confidently knowing he has the damage if he could stack that charge, and Faker once again pushed out. Now it's not too significant because they're both just going to back and TP back into the lane, but one of those moments that gives you pause. As down here, another Zenith Blade.
Yeah, trying to go on this one. You see that Andal does a great job of peeling, immediately turning on to Keria and just kind of ignoring Guma, making sure that Keria can't stick to the Zeri.
Yeah, Leaper dodging that Mystic Shot, very important as well. And we'll get a small level advantage here just briefly before these minions go down. As it feels like I'm holding my breath watching this lane down here, as Andal's been doing such a great job with instantly hitting these crash downs onto the engaging Leona, trading those aftershocks and allowing Leaper to just kind of peel back there. It's been really fun to watch.
And at the end of the day, I feel like, you know, it will come down to the, well, we do see a bit of a trade here in mid. Bulldog at level 6 was considering continuing on the trade. But, you know, outside of the Leona getting some big engages, I feel like they're not going to have too much pressure. I really like the call pickup from Leaper just to say, okay, we're not going to win in the lane, but I'll have this to kind of catch up and stay in parity with the Ezreal. Doesn't even go for the boots to dodge some Mystic Shots or anything like that. Now, we do have a big rotation up here as they are trying to get on top of Bulldog, who will just push Faker away.
Andal also matching the roam, so there's no numbers advantage here for T1, and great moment there from Bulldog, no panic. Zeus has Mega, he's fine here.
Meanwhile, level 6 hit by Leaper. He's going in, but the Extendo Beam is going to miss. Leaper continuing, still up a level. He's not going to be able to get the kill, and he immediately does back off of the all-in. But Guma playing with some fire here.
Some extra bounces will give him the wave push here, and Guma will likely have to just back off entirely. We'll be hitting level 6 shortly himself. Oner is going to be able to secure this grub, and that's pretty significant. Taking any sort of grubs away from Tristana always feels nice when Corki is not going to have the same sort of side lane pressure that this Tristana is later on. So keeping the numbers advantage on that one is big. With how much control they've had on the bottom side, no Drake to go over either. So Cuz kind of coming up empty on this one. Only the single grub, which is the important one for experience, but you know, with the changes to grubs, it's actually really important to get those.
This is Meganar, and dude is playing right into it. Not sure if he really wanted to take this, but now he's going to continue on the trade. Does go for the World Ender here on Zeus. Knows he doesn't have his ult, and now Andal is here. Just level 4, roaming up to the top lane. And Zeus I mean, he doesn't even have to flash. He just walks it off, and now Oner is here. And maybe trying to get the kill onto Dudu by himself. He does have full combo available. And I think he might just go for it. Zeus going to show once again. And Oner decides against it.
Notice there's no vision. Cuz has his ultimate as well. You know, if he was lurking around there, they could have actually ended up in a bad situation without Meganar. So, thinking better of it there, ultimately, at the end of the day. Will be a little bit of lost time here for Oner, but no huge consequences from the play. But it was a potential opportunity there, not seized upon.
Yeah, I feel like if he just sent it, like sent caution to the wind and just goes in, I mean, Dudu does have flash, but as Sejuani, I think he just barely has enough damage to full combo him down.
Yeah, I mean, you get his flash no matter what, that's for sure.
Yeah. Maybe even Zeus could like hop over a minion and help with a boomerang or something, but
there's
better safe than sorry, as you mentioned.
They tried to sell that last play so hard as well, as Dudu going in when the Ondo was coming up. I think Zeus read that extremely well and then was a little bit, you know, suspicious about any more lurking members there of Kwangdong Freaks. As just see the continued bottom pressure, Guma is winning the matchup super hard. Has Keria just launching these in. Good dodge on the true shot. But it's just going to be more and more of Cuz's jungling disrupted. Starting off the Dragon.
Cuz is just getting full comboed here. There's not much he can do as first blood will go to Keria. But yeah, he's just clearing a ward and immediately gets his head taken off.
Yeah, I mean, they're doing Dragon. He feels fairly safe, but that's long range engage. They've got Solar Flare. You have Glacial Prison. And if you don't flash that, you are dead, Cuz on vision. And that is the end of the Maokai. That's the Dragon to go to T1. Faker's starting to get a lot more control over this matchup here in mid as well. No longer the bullying Tristana. He's starting to take a huge CS advantage here. We'll grab a plate, it looks like, here in mid off of this wave as well. Lots of money in T1's pockets off of just one passage of play. Almost 2,000 gold the advantage here.
Now Faker is getting all ins here. Looks like Valkyrie is down, but it's not a kill. It's just a denial of a back, and Bulldog can push very fast with the Tristana. And yeah, I mean, it's a lot of gold going over to T1. They get that Hextech Drake. Also, the top lane is winning in a big way in terms of CS, so Zeus really enjoying his time. They are trying to collapse here when this Meganar does expire.
He's very aware of the possibility, but there's no wave here, so all he had to do was kill that last minion. He's safe. Good to go. See if Bulldog can push a plate here. He should be able to. Faker doesn't have teleport still from that earlier back. And Keria's over here, but should be at least a plate going over to Bulldog in return. As you can see, Dudu is also pushing plate advantage topside. So some of that gold diff going to get worn away here a little bit as Kwangdong pick up some plates in top and in mid.
Yeah.
And I mean, this game is super close right now, but T1 just really playing that initial fight so well around the Dragon, setting a trap there for Cuz, putting pressure on, putting that deep vision in, using the bottom prio so incredibly well as Keria's coming over for a contest.
Yeah, they want to fight this. They want to punish potentially. The first grub does go over to Quantum Freaks, but now a trade in mid, 1v1. Faker looks like he won't win that one, and Quantum Freaks just going to back away. They say, okay, we got our second grub, and that's it. We don't want any more. We don't want to fight you right now. So that will be 4 grubs over to the side of T1. They will get that buff.
There's just too many T1 members there. Zeus having his ultimate back online. It's a really risky fight to take. Even though Faker was kind of cut off, he should have been able to rejoin with his team.
A chance here on the Bulldog as Faker is going in there. He is going to miss the big one and gets ulted away. Oner is going in. I mean, he's got vision, but that is a Tristana, so yeah. Not going to amount to much.
Maokai was not here. Had he been, that could have been very dangerous for Oner, but great game sense on that. Knows he has the space to try to threaten. Doesn't get Bulldog's flash, because as you mentioned, Tristana doesn't need that to get away from a Sejuani in that situation. Faker's just taking all these resources from his team, and Bulldog is getting pushed away repeatedly, and so he's, you know, edging out big advantages.
A chance now. If that missile hits, I mean, Bulldog is in kill range with just a couple of autos and maybe another missile. So just like this, I mean, Cuz is nearby, but it's a second plate over to Faker, a bigger CS advantage, and it seems like he has stabilized quite a bit here in mid.
Yeah, definitely. Bulldog will teleport back now, and this cannon wave will be eaten up by him, so he'll shore him some of that deficit. But the early control here by Oner has been so unreal. I mean, now, again, Leaper and Andal denied farm here.
He's going in. I mean, they want to take this fight. They say, yes, thank you very much. But Andal will be able to flash away. Leaper still chipping away. But at the end of the day, it's just Andal going away. And now that turret will go the way of T1.
Yeah, I mean, it's the whole turret. It's all these plates going over. Cuz is coming over to try to salvage this play. But Leaper's already ulted.
Well, that ult did happen. They have some damage into Oner, but there's really just no follow-up, and that's why, I mean, I guess they saved the turret this way? And so they are going to push T1 back.
I mean, so some good value in saving that turret, no doubt, but at the end of the day, T1's still getting huge amounts of gold out of this play. Back up to 2,000 now flat. You know, last time I was rounding up, but this time it's the real 2K that they have the advantage here. Denying farm a little bit there from Leaper. And the turret does stand, which is important. But there's no cross map, unfortunately, for Kwangdong Freaks to be found because Cuz had to come down and salvage the play, or at least do what he could to try to. And the item value of these two players at the bottom side, you know, between a Trinity Force finished for Gumayusi and his stacking tier versus Leaper just having the Shiv, the Ezreal already with these buff stats is going to be feeling pretty good, but once you have that Triforce, it's really hard for Leaper to compete with him. He's outranged, of course, as well by those Mystic shots, so as long as Guma keeps hitting those and he has some pressure with Keria, really hard for Leaper to play that one out. The Shiv is going to help him wave clear and help him get the rest of his key items, give him some prio on the map, and then when they move to mid lane, as he is now. But Guma is already quite large in comparison in terms of the stats he's going to gain and how much power that's going to give Ezreal.
We're just farming mid. You see that Guma is going to come in here and harass Leaper quite a bit.
Look at that damage.
Oner just sticks around wherever the team needs him. He's farming pretty well. He's just always seemingly in the right place at the right time. And unfortunately, Cuz on the Maokai just hasn't had the same impact.
No, he certainly has not. And, you know, Faker had some difficulty early, but he's been given some resources. He's utilized them quite well. And so these leads are compounding. Top lane, 20 CS, 30 CS actually in this case now is, you know, gotten a bigger advantage here. And they put Bulldog into the side here. Zeus not going to teleport, it looks like, but he doesn't have more than 2 grubs here. And yes, Tristana can kill turrets very quickly, but imagine if they had won those grub exchanges earlier, how much more of a threat this would end up being.
Andal, that's not a safe place for you to back, my guy. And now he's being run down. He is going to get over to Bulldog here, but Solar Flare comes in and Andal's just dead. I mean, he knew it as now Cuz is coming over. They are trying to take this 2v2, but Keria is just so tanky and Bulldog is barely scratching the Leona at this point. Guma comes over, and it might just be a feast for him. He takes down the turret, does Bulldog, but now Cuz is on the run. We got a 2v1 up here in the bottom lane, as this is an Aatrox. Faker taking a lot of turret hits, and actually Dudu is going in for the kill once again, wants to get down someone, and has a big chance here. Oner does have to flash just to save his life.
He's coming over here. Does not decide to commit. It's just a little bit too slow on the play. Doesn't have a great wall to go and cut them off, so would have just wasted time. Decides to think better of it there. Zeus is going to be, after that play topside, able to come over here and equalize the turrets, take out this wave, and T1 are just winning everywhere. You're not supposed to be able to win on 2 sides of the map that hard at the same time. Now, the thought process here for Andal is correct in that he needs to shadow Bulldog so he can put that deeper pressure on, while Cuz is also topside trying to take the Herald. If you can do all of that at once, you know, it's huge value for you as a Bulldog.
Oh, this is rough. I mean, he is going to be able to jump away, and actually it's not rough at all. He's totally fine. I mean, he does get zoned off the turret and nearly kills Zeus, but they get the inner, and Bulldog is fine. He just backs away.
All right, what do they get in return? Without Cuz's ultimate here, I don't know if they get anything, to be honest with you, Valdez.
No. They saw Oner, who, once again, same level as Faker. He's level 11 Sejuani right now.
So Cuz is doing the Herald, so there's 2 good reasons for Andal to be here, is he can help back Cuz up and help back up the Bulldog push here topside, maybe even potentially set a trap. What he didn't expect was that Keria would match him here, and the Zeus would set him up for success as Zeus gets his Mega Gnar. And then Keria just locking Bulldog down as Guma shows up to scoop up the damage. Gets the turret at least as a consolation prize. And then on the bottom side, at least Dudu was able to turn that one around. If he also dies while they're trying to make that play topside, things get even worse. But the story does not get better for Kwangdong, at least not yet. Infernal Soul is going to be so significant for both of these teams. So every single Dragon fight should be a brawl here between these two. But with Kwangdong Freaks' gold deficit, I wonder if they'll commit to this first one, because it might be game losing for them if they get crushed.
Yeah, it's very true, and they're going to pick up the Rift Heralds here. Mao Dudu is in a really rough spot. He's being CC'd under the turret, and he's just going to go down to mostly turret damage. Takes Agras now trying to trade this one back. Bulldog is around. Ondel is going to get a very nice Magnet Storm, trying to take out Zeus, and they will be able to get him, as Leaper also going to join the party. And meanwhile, you know, they might be able to take down Keria and this turret, but at the same time, mid is being pushed in a big way. Ondel also going to go down. As, yes, a couple of kills will go to Kwangdong Freaks, but look at your mid lane.
Yeah, Inner is down, top Inner is down, and I mean, that was down a long time ago. Faker's pushing on the inhibitor turret right now. Bulldog, it teleports in to get chunked to 1/3.
Oner going for the alley-oop. It's not going to happen.
You go for those, though. You know you grab him if he messes it up.
It's a bit of extra damage to the turret, bit of extra pressure.
Yeah. So a small win for Kwangdong Freaks, but it's ultimately 1 step forward, 2 steps back, as T1 get way more value top and in mid. And with the death of Ondel as well, it stings all the more. Is in these situations, you can just see how confident Zeus is on this Gnar pick. Doesn't have to be a counter pick for Cassante. Doesn't have to be a matchup he wants. He's just like, no, it's a Gnar angle. For me, it's always a Gnar angle.
Yep.
His mechanics in this moment, fantastic. Now, they do end up getting outnumbered here, and he does get taken out. Big proactive roam over here for Bulldog, but it's not without a cost, as we talked about earlier. As Keria, he's really everywhere right now, trying to set up Guma again in live. Not going to lead to anything, but we've watched this play moments before. Not as good as Kwangdong wanted on that one.
Yeah. The thing is, as you mentioned, I mean, Oner is everywhere, Keria is everywhere. It's really difficult for Kwangdong Freaks to really find an angle at any point in this game. Dudu's taking a lot of damage now underneath his own turret, and yeah, I mean, as you mentioned, Zeus picked this blind. He's like, no, Gnar's just good. I'm just going to play Gnar. Like,
it's always a Gnar angle.
Yeah, I like this pick. It's strong. That's it. That's my reasoning. And Oner, level 12, getting on in there. They are trying to trade this one back. Leaper does have a potential Zeri moment here. Oner getting pretty low. Leaper's getting in there. They take him out. And now Faker's in a bit of trouble. An angle for Kwangdong Freaks says, yes, Faker will get a kill, but it's 2 for 1. And Zeri gets one of those kills as well.
Take a screenshot of that moment right there for T1. I feel like I've seen that in every single T1 game they have played this season, with the exception of T1 D Plus Game 2. Every single blue side game, they have this moment where they push up a little bit too deep into the blue buff area and get pushed back. We've seen it in every single matchup. Like, it's deja vu for me as Oner. He knows there's no turret in mid, wants to come over here. The problem is Zeri's damage output is so high at this point still, even though you're really tanky. You're just way too far up. Both Keria and Oner don't have any support. So Faker's like, well, I'll come over here, I'll handle this. Zeus is late to rotate over, and it's a big disaster for T1. A small dent in their gold lead here goes over to Kwangdong Freaks, and Faker does pick up that kill. He's sitting on second item, IE anyways, so I'm not sure how much he's concerned about the loss of that play. But definitely an overextension. Definitely could have been cleaner, because now Kwangdong Freaks have a little bit more control of the map, and this next dragon spawns in 20 seconds. Let's see if they can force this into their favor.
Yeah, I mean, it was just a really nice angle. Even Cuz's angle of approach, like it just caught everyone. As now Zeus has Mega Gnar, and Dudu's like, uh-oh, I didn't want to take a fight with this guy. He blind picks Gnar in this meta. I can't mess with him, and he can't mess with this Gnar right now. As look at this trade, I mean, it is not very close, as the World Ender will be forced, and Zeus is running out of Mega Gnar, so he's just gonna respect that. And now Kwangdong Freaks are going to start this one up.
A lot of damage on this Tristana straight towards the dragon. Good zoning here from Cuz, who still has his Nature's Grasp. Oner trying to get close.
They're just going to take it down. And T1 do not commit to that, as very nice buffer here from Bulldog. The Solar Flare not going to hit. And now the Nature's Grasp you mentioned, going to zone them away. But Kwangdong Freaks, it looks like they want to fight. I'm not sure about that one. But Keria going on in. It's such a back and forth trade. It's now Zeus on the flank, going to take him down. But look at Oner getting extremely low. Leaper's still alive. Oner is going to go down as Bulldog gets that kill. And now 4v3 here for Kwangdong Freaks, but Guma looking to take the 1v1 versus Bulldog. Faker coming over, making it unfair, and Bulldog is going to back away.
Zeus trying to come over here and maybe get into the kerfuffle again as well, but will be denied here. Kwangdong Freaks turning around a huge cheer erupts from their side of the arena as the rare Flicker Blade coming through here from Zeri, a pretty interesting item choice, but I think given the big beefy front line, it's going to be a lot more damage throughput. You know, we've seen a lot of Runin second here in this type of game, but not necessarily always going to be able to get value out of that in a situation like this. Great buffer from Bulldog, you mentioned. Look at them part like the Red Sea here for the Leona ultimate as the Solar Flare is dodged, and then Guma has to cleanse. Keria going back in here is the first question mark I think we have, as T1 feel like they're strong enough with Zeus on the flank, but the Zeri damage throughput, the Tristana damage throughput is just so strong at this point, and with Keria going in like that, Faker doesn't have as much of a front line. Zeus was a bit on the flank, and so Kwangdong Freaks make a decisive call to go forward, and we'll get away with it on a knife's edge. T1 still ahead, but Kwangdong Freaks striking back again. This team is so much better than they were in Spring Valdez.
Yeah, it's kind of insane where this team is at right now. Like, we were not overhyping these guys. This is prime for a potential upset, and here comes Andil once again. Just the scrappiness, the resilience of this team, as now Guma in a lot of trouble. Bulldog, he knows how strong he is, and look at that extra poke coming out from Leaper. And immediately, Kwangdong Freaks have control of the Baron Pit, and they want to send it.
I mean, it's Tristana damage here. Zeri over here as well. Keria trying to push his vision in. Zeus does have teleport, but he's already Meganar, so this is a little bit awkward for T1. Andil holding the choke.
They might have to give it up.
I think they do. Okay, he's going to TP in, but again, no Meganar. Good true shot.
Yeah, they got to try to fight, but this Baron is going the way of Kwangdong Freaks. They get the objective, and look at this. Oner getting low, but Dudu and Andil are isolated. Andil will sacrifice his life for the team. But at the end of the day, it's Kwangdong Freaks picking up the Baron.
Oh man, Andil is dead, but he's got that look on his face. He knows he did a good thing.
Hashtag worth.
Hashtag worth. T1 rushing over to the bottom side of the map where there's no objective to take. And this was just a great call from Kwangdong Freaks. So the Baron buff is going to give them so much more map control. They already got that last dragon in the fight. T1 were not able to contest that. They may be able to utilize this Baron buff to guarantee the prio they need to get a second Infernal Dragon here. Guys, this angle is so awkward. No Meganar. The True Shot Barrage is a lot of damage, but with the ult from Cuz, you just can't close the gap. Keria is trying to, but the ult from Cuz just buys enough time. The Nature's Grasp keeps them at bay, and when it looks like, okay, maybe there's an angle on the Dudu there, maybe we can start to turn this one around, Andil says, I'll take one for the team. 4 Baron buffs remain. And Kwangdong Freaks, that 2,000 gold lead that T1 had early on, they pushed it up a little bit more, but it's kind of been around there, and that's not necessarily enough to win you these games if Kwangdong get prio out of this. T1.
Got a couple of fights here. Once again, trying to go in onto Leaper, and Keria's alone. I mean, he's being chased down, and he might just die here. He doesn't have flash, but looks like Kwangdong Freaks don't want to overchase. They do have the Baron buff still, and it looks like they want to get some value here in the mid lane. Can't blame them, as now Dudu trying to fight here against Zeus. This is a 1v1 for now, but we do have some members roaming on up to the top side. Zeus is buying a lot of time, though.
Yeah, he's
against the Baron buff.
Exactly, he's wasting Baron buff time here, but he's not going to get out with his life, I don't think.
Yeah.
As the Crush.
He is able to hop to the left, and the flash comes in from Cuz. They are going to shut it down for now, as now we got Bulldog. He's not able to buffer that one, but the ult comes out, and Bulldog is alive! Somehow, some way, and Oner can't believe it.
Oh man, I cannot believe the one buffer he doesn't hit. He still saves himself with a Buster shot. They will get the turret anyways, but Zeus is pushed back. He's taken out topside. Baron buff, a lot of time lost. You can see it's actually just barely a positive here on the Red Bull Baron power play. 20 seconds until this dragon spawns. One of the faster groups.
That's a deny on the TP. And Andil, he does have to expend his flash for that. Dudu, he might not even get this turret right now. So, yeah, it looks like he will get it on the next wave.
Yeah,
but this is the entirety of their Baron buff power play, as you were mentioning. I mean, they get one inner turret.
I mean, this is actually insane. Let's watch this again. I want to see how he reacts.
점프만은 못했다. 야, 이거 역할 안 돼. 이거
Reaction was slow, but I mean, you can see in his vision there how little time he had to react. He still almost got it. Now, Zeus up here loses Meganar. Cuz goes through. Dudu locks him up with a sweet spot. Looks like maybe he's going to get out, but no. Cuz decides to use his Nature's Grasp here. Now, T1 did not get the dragon initially. Because of the teleport deny, they're not actually able to save Zeus, and then they're kind of awkwardly grouped there while Kwangdong Freaks has prio, so they give it up in live, which we missed, Guangdong Freaks actually secure the second dragon, and the lead for T1 is significantly diminished.
It definitely is. I mean, 2 Infernal Drakes. There have been some nerfs along the way, but still, like, that should be enough for 2,000 gold at this point in the game. Might even be a lead here for the Guangdong Freaks. Now, Bulldog, a lot of question mark pings. Faker just going to let him go. He is alone for now, as Nature's Grasp going to secure a red buff. And that's about it.
Yeah.
Might as well. I guess it's not that long of a cooldown at this point.
Yeah, really, you know, I mean, at this point, just they're safe than sorry, let's say. You know, forcing fights over these types of objectives could be disastrous. And T1, in this lull state, they don't have a very strong split-pushing champion. Like, Gnar can be very annoying to deal with on the side, but he's not so ahead that he... Oh, goodness, we're fishing for Bulldog here. He's not so ahead that he can just push this Aatrox out and start getting value. They already got their inner turret's worth of gold as well. There's like nothing for T1 to do on the map right now other than to fish for picks. So that's exactly what they're doing here. There's no inners for them to take. There's no Dragon. There's no Baron. There's Baron Vision, which they do have. As Guangdong Freaks will just take this lull between the objectives to sit back and farm. Leaper, the only person who has a gold lead here with a lot of additional stats from the double Infernal. And if he gets the Infernal Soul, I mean, that is going to be huge. LDR done for him as well. He will chew through that Sejuani health bar.
4th item just picked up for him. He's got the BT. And, yeah, I mean, he's essentially the carry. Not to mention that Bulldog has been doing quite a lot in this game. And they have a pretty decently fed Aatrox. I mean, I think Zeus is pretty comparable, maybe even ahead at this point. As now it is Cuz caught in the top river, just trying to clear some vision. He is extremely tanky. There's no damage threats here for T1, and he just walks away.
Yeah, and he's got Warmogs too, so he channels it back. He's like, actually, I don't think I need that. And now he's just gonna head back over here. Leaper running towards T1. And I will say it's much easier to hit all of Leaper's damage. We talked about the late game 80 carries. He's level 18, Taguma's 16, and he just queues towards you. His carry is in trouble.
Yeah, he has to flash, and he doesn't have Solar Flare, and they're going to use this Nature's Grasp. They want to get any pick they can, and they'll take the Leona, sure.
Right before Baron spawns, T1 no vision control here whatsoever. Zeus has teleport, so he can come in here and try to fight with them. But look at Leaper just rip through this health bar of the Baron. Now, Nature's Grasp can't be used defensively here, but I just don't think T1 can get inside this pit. And they're just simply going to back away. They have no vision. There's no entry. Oner trying to clear, but it's just too late. It's gone, Valdez.
Yeah, Oner knows he's on vision, of course. He's just going to let that one go. And that's a second Baron over to Guangdong Freaks. And at this point in the game, you can say they are definitely in the lead. And they're looking to extend it from here. They're looking to push in mid.
Yeah, I mean, this is a massive lead for them. They still have that Tristana pushing power. Zeri pushes turrets pretty quickly as well. And the Baron once again links up with that Infernal Dragon. This time, the Soul. And T1 running out of options quickly here. And with a Zeri, with this build, she has a lot of lifesteal. She's very survivable. Like, it's hard to kill her. She does a lot of damage. It's much easier. She doesn't have to aim and land skills. She'll be technically, yes, but it's quite simple compared to Mystic shots. Ezreal's gone for a tanky build. You're sitting on 3 items to her 4, one of those items being a defensive item. Where's the poke really going to be here? Faker also does a lot of damage, but to get into range, it's so risky. You've got a Maokai to deal with, you've got an Aatrox to deal with, the Rel. It's hard for Faker to carry this game. It's hard for Guma to carry this game. I really think if T1 is going to wrestle this one back, it's going to have to be a huge Gnar from Zeus on the teleport flank angle. They don't have enough vision to set that up right now, though. As you can see around the Dragon Pit, only 2 wards to the left of the pit. No setup really for T1 to get Zeus into position to make a big play here. You could try to chain CC the targets together, but Zeri's so slippery, Tristana's so slippery with these buffers from Bulldog.
Timing of this as well. I mean, Zeus just ran out of Mega Gnar. He's not going to have it if they started it up right away. This Infernal Drake, it's obvious that T1 do want to fight over this one, but as you mentioned, there's just not a lot of good angles here.
Yeah, I mean, Guangdong Freaks in such a good position. Bulldog can soul this while Dudu holds the angle.
Yeah, they're just trying to zone Oner away here. Dudu's taking the brunt of the damage, but Oner is not going to get in the pit. It's Infernal Soul just given over to the Guangdong Freaks. They are so in favor of winning this game at this point.
I mean, the positioning was so fantastic for Dudu there. He's just denying them entry. I mean, the Meganar was so close for Zeus. He has flash Meganar, but he just can't get in there. There's nothing he can do. There's no prio. There's no teleport angle.
Yeah, and Quantum's still at Baron.
Yeah.
So.
And you can see the second the Dragon's done, Bulldog's like, I'm over the wall. I got Infernal Soul. You guys think you could be anywhere near me? You can't.
Well, they absolutely can't. This push is coming in from the bottom side. Still 40 seconds on this Red Bull Baron power play. They're looking to potentially push into this inhibitor. Bulldog is going to take quite a bit of damage, but you can see still they are looking to push into this one. No Sejuani ultimate. Dudu kind of in an awkward spot, but actually it's Zeus potentially in the awkward spot of the flash on the Gnar, and now Zeus is on the run. Dudu's just going to say, okay, I'm looking to push mid instead.
Yeah, I mean, if he can push Zeus out, you know, and push mid, that's exactly what you want. It's going to force this awkward timing for Zeus for he is to back, but that's further map control. A red buff globally denied here. Again, T1 not going to be able to pick that one up. Baron expires. All they got was one inhibitor, but the biggest prize of all really is that Infernal Soul they picked up, as that is going to be relevant for the rest of the game. The Elder spawning in 5 minutes, maybe where we have our final fight if T1 can delay. But with this Tristana at level 18, it is scary times. I mean, Elixir picked up for Dudu as well. Like, this team, I feel like you could see it on their faces, Ando's face there as well. It's like, they're like, we're doing it. we were losing this game. It seemed unwinnable. We had a few clutch fights.
Yeah.
A few overextensions from T1, and like, we're doing it.
It's one of those games where everybody's like saying, okay, calm down, it's all right, we're in the lead, but just stay strong, keep playing your game. At least that's what the shot caller probably is saying at this point, just trying to keep everybody calm, because Quantum Freaks have not won a game against this team in a very long time.
Not a single game.
It's been 2-0s all the way down.
14 in a row, I believe it was. Some insane number, and closest they've ever been, it feels like.
Yeah, 7 series, 14 games. And now the poke is coming in. There is no Baron. Bulldog is not going to buffer that. Not sure if on purpose or not. He is totally safe regardless. And will just be able to life steal up eventually, assuming he's got the rune. And yeah, they're just pushing, straight up pushing.
Dudu.
Meanwhile, T1 trying to get on top of an Aatrox, as Dudu will world ender and try to survive into this one. The Meganar available here for Zeus, going to push him away, but the Sterix keeping him alive as the passive comes in, and Dudu's like, you're not here, you're stuck in here with me, and now Zeus has to run away, and that's a turret down in mid in the meanwhile.
Dudu has teleport. They might just end the game. Zeus on the run. He's going to get over the wall, but maybe Aatrox is more interested in hitting some Nexus turrets as they're going in.
They're looking to end this one. Andil is getting pretty excited, and now with the Zeri ultimate, there's no way that T1 can avoid the fight either. Guma is going to cleanse on the root, and that is a huge true shot barrage coming in, but now they're trying to turn onto Guma. Guma will go down, just stabbed by the Aatrox, as that will go the Tristana here. And potential for Faker and Zeus to try desperately, but it's not looking good. Quantum Freaks will take game number 1.
The streak